Hi, my name is Anna. I'm a medical doctor, and this is my introduction video. Basically, I would want to describe my mm, career path and introduce myself. So, I graduated from medical school. In my case, it was called Medical University in 2017. And then I was like wondering, what should I choose? I wanted desperately to go into surgery, but like surgery was quite complicated in combination with family, and I wanted to have several kids maybe. And so I decided for therapy, which is like in Russian it is called therapy. Mainly, I would say it's internal medicine. So I got into a specialty training of internal medicine, which I finished in 2 years. It was in 2019 when I started working in the hospital, and it was the department, geriatrician department, but it was like combination of geriatry and some complicated cases that didn't fit in other departments. So we had some space for patients that were difficult to diagnose, and we had some time as well. And so that was challenging. It was type of like Dr. House department. I really liked it. So I had some very rare diseases and vascular diseases that I spent a couple of weeks diagnosing because it was not very clear and the tests were not very clear as well. But in the end, something that reminded me of cancer at the beginning, but was not cancer obviously when we found out, turned to be a vascular disease, a very rare one. I really like this story because we helped with our treatment a person to live some extra, well, in our case it was half a year, and then unfortunately COVID took him away. But it was half a year with his family, and it was like incredible achievement. Um, he was an old man, but he was, yeah, I really liked that we helped him. So basically, that was my dream work. I worked as a doctor there for 1 year, and then COVID started. Well, yeah, it was less than a year then, from October till I think maybe July when COVID started. And so then the COVID department was formed in my hospital, and I was asked as an internal medicine specialist to work there on a shift basis. So I was basically not the one who was um, not the main cardiologist or like gastroenterologist. We had all these specialists who worked there as well during the day, and our duty was to check on the patients during the night and as well during the day on the weekends sometimes, and when we had um, bank holidays. So I really liked this work. It was like the amount of work was tremendous. It was so complicated. It was so hard. We were covered in all this, in all these costumes, and only our eyes could be seen, and only our voices could be heard. The patients were afraid. Some of them suspicious because they didn't believe in COVID, even though that some of them had like pneumonia, which was quite severe. So, nevertheless, um, it was great. Also, great experience. I worked with best surgeons, with best doctors. We were really a team. The nurses were incredible. Everyone was just, I really liked and loved my work. Then COVID went away, luckily, and now we have it mainly as like type of cold, and so that's really great. We survived. Not all of us, unfortunately, but like, yeah. So it evolved to be like a mild disease. Um, my department was reformed, and as my previous department by that time was very much changed into something else. Um, I was sent to A&E where I worked for several months, and it was also a great experience, also very inspiring, also very hard, very, I don't know, it took all of my, it like I had to use all of my skills in order to work there as well. But it was great as well. And then I finished my work. To be honest, by that time, after 2 years, I was a bit burnt out. I know it's weird to say that you can be burnt out after 2 years, but it was happened to me. I worked a lot, and I tried my best, both in supporting people psychologically and um, giving them the best knowledge and treatment that I had. And then I married my husband and I moved to him to Denmark. So from in Denmark I stayed for 3 months and I was so tired. I decided that at that time I will not do anything. And he allowed me this, and I'm very grateful for this. So then we together we moved to the UK, where we live now. It was a great move. It was so interesting. Everything was so exciting, new. When we moved to London, I couldn't, I couldn't believe my eyes, because when I moved to Denmark, Denmark is great. I love this country, but it reminded me of Russia somehow because of the nature. Nature is very similar to ours. Forests, lakes, it was everything spotless and clean and so very well maintained. So I loved being there. And in the UK, it was very different. So London was full of life. It was like a business center. You could realize it straight away when you moved here. So when we moved, we decided to have a child. I got pregnant, and it was not the most complicated pregnancy, but still, I had this something that is called hyperemesis gravidarum, which is basically just the very severe sickness throughout the whole pregnancy, except for maybe like 1 month in the middle. So it prevented me from verifying my diploma straight away, though I inquired about all the documents that are needed. So then I gave birth to a child, and my stepson also joined us at the same time. So from mom of 0 kids, I became mom of 2, one 8-year-old boy and one 0-year-old girl. I loved it. It was challenging, but it was something different from what I had before from my work. I would say that it was maybe a bit more difficult than to resuscitate people. Sometimes more challenging, at least, because you don't have any weekends. My husband is very supportive. He's a proper second parent, so I'm very lucky here and can't complain more. So yeah, when my child was 1 year old, 1 year old, I decided to verify my diploma finally. So I sent all the documents with the help of my parents, who still are in Russia. I collected all the documents and I sent them to the General Medical Council. And they told me that the procedure has changed a bit, and now they need a verification from my university, not only my documents themselves. So my university had to cooperate. And then started some bureaucratical problems, which unfortunately lasted for 3 years. 3 years I have been waiting, and there were a lot of talks between my university and General Medical Council and me as well. And so finally we got all the work done only this year. We moved in 2022, and this year everything is finalized. I couldn't be more happy, because it means that I can go back to my dream job. I could be a medical doctor once again. So yeah, but then in March this year, a new Medical Training Prioritization Act was introduced, which made the whole process stuck once again, because now the priority is given to UK graduates. I'm not a UK graduate, I'm a UK resident. I'm stuck once again. I can't go into foundation years, which is type of intermediate postgraduate study that is necessary for doctors that finish medical school here in the UK. I can't because I'm not prioritized for this. And I've seen the statistics for this year, so 97%, I could be mistaken, could be 98% of the places were taken by UK graduates, and only remaining percent, like 3 or 2, was taken by foreign doctors, and it was not in London. I mean, yeah. GP training was, I'm already speaking about specialty training. So GP training was taken by 100% by UK graduates. It means that I'm a bit stuck. Now I am passing, like I have already passed the my exams, so twice occupational English test, which is like first line. But it was in 2022 when I wanted to like go through this whole process, but then my pregnancy and so on, and yeah, so, and then there was a problem with bureaucracy. So now I don't know what to do, because I want to work as a medical doctor, and I need to go in either foundation years if I get provisional license by GMC, or into specialty training, or into some kind of job if I get full license by GMC. I'm not prioritized, and there are no places for people like me now. I hope that this situation will change. For now, it is like that from March. So basically, no one whom I know got their place in foundation years and specialty training. I still have hope, obviously. So, what should I do? My thoughts were to go and to study somewhere in order to show people, because you see now it's already in September, it would be 5 years that I'm not working. And I completely understand people who would say, why do we need her when we have some other people who finished working in a search for work for a shorter period of time? That's true. So I wanted to do something to get some updated studies in the sphere of medicine. I was looking into masters in medicine, and one of them is Imperial College, which is on the fourth place in the whole world for medical studies. And this program, cardiovascular and pulmonary diseases, is the best choice for me. But once again, it costs £47,000, which is a lot, which is more than like a car. Maybe it's like 2 cars. You can buy 2 cars with the cost of this program. If I get my indefinite leave to remain, which I'm applying for in December, and I hope to get it nearly straight away with priority, I would get home visa, but it delays my studies for extra 1 year. So I'll have to start studying in September 2027. I really want to work. So I really want to work. I have found I speak German, I speak French, I speak English, I speak Russian. So I found some programs in German that are online and that could give me some updated studies. I found them in Switzerland and ETH because I really like this university as well. So probably I would go for them for now, because I mean, we have quite enough money, because my husband's, I'm so grateful for this, earns quite enough for our family. But I mean, We can't spend nearly £50,000 on just 1 year of studies for me. So I decided that maybe in this case I would, I don't know, I'm speaking already for 15 minutes. Sorry for that. Probably it's already too boring. But nevertheless, if you just finish watching this by any chance, then I want to probably be socially active like a blogger and provide you with some information that could be useful for you and interesting for you. And maybe if you follow me and sign up for my channel, then I'll probably get some followers and I probably get some monetization, and this world will get its doctor back because I would be able to finance my studies and to get back to work. So this is how it works. What I forgot to say, well, actually, it all started, I am a tiny blogger, I would say, because it all started in 2021 when I was working in COVID department, when I launched my Twitter, which was still called Twitter, not X like today. So I would probably still call it Twitter, I'm sorry. And I started writing there. It's called Vraj Graj, which is basically translated as Dr. Rook. And I started writing stories. I was so overwhelmed with the difficult time, with my patients, with everything what was happening at that time, that I needed some place to write my stories about this. And I chose Twitter, and it was the best place to do it. Then I've gone to, what is it, Picable, and I wrote my stories there as well. Unfortunately, they are in Russian, but I'm thinking of translating them to English. But you know, I'm already changed. It's 5 years. It was 5 years ago when I wrote all this, and it's not as up to date anymore. I just want to be a doctor once again, and I wanted to write these stories once again. So in these 5 years, what happened? I gave birth to a child in 2022 at the end of the year. So now she's 3.5. And then when she was 1.5, I decided, what can I do while I'm waiting for this bureaucracy to resolve and like to do something? And I started studying computer science. I started studying computer science, and I do not regret it because it gave me a lot of knowledge of how to program on Python, on how to program on C. I've done Harvard CS50 course. It was profound. It was great. It was very challenging, but I did it. And then I did some other courses there on Harvard, and I did some other courses on C++. I really liked it. I think it was what I really like. So recently I've done another course which is called AI Performance Engineering, with all this, you know, complicated maths and LLM architectures, which was very new for me, but it was great. I really liked it. So I would recommend it if you are looking into this field. And it was challenging. It was like building your AI agents, MLOps, everything. It's still a bit different. So if I had a choice, let's be honest, I would go and treat people and get their health back, get them back to life, I don't know, whatever, help them to be healthy, help them to be happy, help their families to function once again. That's what I was probably built for. I don't know. My father is a surgeon, my mother is a pharmacist, so I had a bit of a... it was probably thought from the beginning that I would be a doctor. I tried to rebel when I was a teenager, but then I was like, why should I? Why should I be rebellious? It's a great idea to be a doctor. And I never regretted this 2 years of it's called residency in Russian, I think. These 2 years of specialty training and these 2 years of work, I never regretted it. And that's how we met with my husband, because we met on Twitter while I was writing all the stories about COVID and about my feelings and about my patients, without personal data, obviously. And that's what I want to do once again. There was one famous Russian writer, um, Bulgakov, and he was a doctor as well. And he had written, how is it translated in English? He had written about his work as a doctor in one of the villages of Russia. It was interesting. Well, a lot of people were drunk, so but it was in quite a while ago. But I was impressed by how he really cared, by how he really liked people. And I was like, okay, I'm going to write as well. I'm not Bulgakov. I'm not even comparing myself to him. He's a master, he's a classic. But I am Anna Vinogradova, and I am a doctor who would want to be a doctor once again. So this is why was my very, very long introduction. If you survived it for 21 minutes, then welcome to my channel, and I will be posting something else. If you want to I forgot the word. But if you want to support me, yes, please join this channel. Please ask your friends to join this channel and to watch my videos. And I will be talking about some new things in the field of science, new things in the field of medicine. I will be telling you how my path is going on. If you want to support me in any way, I would be very happy, and it would help me to fulfill my dream. Thank you so much for watching.